I made the mistake of tuning into a little bit of the COVID-19 response team update from the White House on the NBC News YouTube channel. It's absolutely excruciating. It's like nails on a chalkboard to listen to these people, these hacks, drone on about the problems that they created, only to sell you back the solution. Obviously, we have three-mask Fauci only, 8 months after saying, oh, right now people shouldn't be wearing masks, but now you should be wearing 3 or 4 or 6 or 8 or 12 of them. Doesn't even matter. None of it makes any sense.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better.
6 months later.
So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it likely would be more effective. And that's the reason why you see people either double masking or doing a version of an N95.
Thank you so much, Andy. And that's correct. Equity is absolutely a foundational component of our national plan. There's a moral imperative. It's simply the right thing to do to ensure that those who are hardest hit or at highest risk have the opportunity to stay safe and healthy through this pandemic. And there's also the science of it.
She tells you right up front and center that science is not the backbone of this response team. It's a moral imperative, and racial inequities are everywhere. They constantly create these boogeymen that obviously can't be defeated, so they always have something to chase. They're always chasing this dragon, right? And we can almost be sure that the solution to this problem is more taxes and less freedom.
We cannot beat this virus without making sure we're executing a plan that works for all communities. So we've committed to taking an equity lens to every aspect of this pandemic response. That includes minimizing the risk of getting infected, and for those who get COVID, minimizing the risk of hospitalization or death. So that includes ensuring access to PPE, testing, treatments, and vaccines. It also includes making it possible for people to safely quarantine and isolate and to monitor the impacts of long COVID.
So, just the other day, we heard that California and New York and Illinois are all reopening. Did Joe Biden save the planet or not? Are we still quarantining? Are we still hiding under the bed for the rest of our lives? Is the inequality coming to get us?
So from what the data show us, we still have a long way to go. Latino, Indigenous, and Black people in America are dying at high rates from COVID-19.
Latino, Indigenous, and Black people are dying at high rates from COVID-19.
And folks in rural communities have case and death rates that continue to climb, and they're dying at higher rates than people in metropolitan areas.
But also people in rural communities, though their cases are rising and they're dying at higher rates than in metropolitan communities.
So by race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability, geography, based on where you live, COVID-19 is leaving a terrible imprint on far too many communities.
Okay, so gender identity, right? So now you can claim they, them, z, zim, zer, or whatever. That too is having an effect on COVID-19 cases in these communities. None of this makes any sense. I just can't understand it. We got Mr. Executive Decision, Executive Order Joe Biden, who, of course, for the record, was, a little bit against signing executive orders.
The one thing that I have this strange notion, we are a democracy. Some of my Republican friends and some of my Democratic friends even occasionally say, well, if you can't get the votes by executive order, you're going to do something. Things you can't do by executive order unless you're a dictator. We're a democracy. We need consensus.
But now he's doing it like it's going out of style.
Next slide.
Next slide, she says. This is an absolute disgrace. Like I said, I cannot believe
I can't believe it,
that anybody with an IQ big, larger than their shoe size or above room temperature or whatever it is that people say is still taking any of this even remotely seriously.
I'm super serial. I hope now you boys see that this is totally serial. I'm trying to warn everybody and nobody takes me serial. I just want somebody in the world to take me serial just for once. Are you serial?
Yes, I'm serial.
Oh, I'm totally serial. Come on, this is where Man Bear Pig is. I'm cereal. I am super duper cereal. Man Bear Pig is in there, and we have to kill him while we all have the chance. I'm cereal. And I'm saying it, I'm totally cereal, but everyone just keeps digging. Attack my Man Bear Pig, and Man Bear Pig leaves nobody alive. I'm super cereal.